They don't know about me because I don't tell them. They know that if you go see Andre and his group, you will have a great time. Fans are shocked that the famous king of the waltz, Andre Rieu, is 75 years old. They didn't end with a big show or a new musical masterpiece, but with a very personal discovery. Many people have been enchanted by Rieu's shows and timeless melodies, and now he has finally let people into the most private part of his life. There is a deeper story than any symphony he's ever played, behind the sparkling stages, old castles, and haunting sounds of his 1667 Stradivarius. I copied the Schönbrunn Castle in Vienna one time when I was too busy. For decades, this famous person around the world kept his feelings hidden. What made him finally talk about them? Why now? Rieu gives a glimpse into something that has quietly powered his legacy in this rare and heartfelt statement. For almost 50 years, people have never seen this part of Andre Rieu before. They will also learn what his music is really about, what family does for you. Andre Rieu's inner depth as a musician did not come from having a lot of money. It came about because of a lack. Even though he grew up with a lot of music, his childhood was cold and lonely. In a rare and moving admission, Rieu said he couldn't remember his father ever giving him a hug. His vivid memory of a childhood without kindness or physical affection tells us a lot about the emotional world he grew up in. His father, who was a well-known conductor, brought order and control into the home, but he didn't show much love. Because of this, Andre's early life was marked by controlling his feelings, a feeling that emotions should be kept inside and not shown. This lack of feeling shaped Rieu's inner world and gave him a desire he would carry for years. But he didn't let that void make him tough. Instead, he turned it into music. As a child, his music became a way for him to say everything he couldn't. Notes became his voice where words had been met with quiet before. Through performance, Rieu was able to explore and talk about things he had never been able to feel as a child: desire, happiness, love, and even weakness. He was very sensitive to other people's feelings because he didn't have many close friends or family when he was young. Music became his way of both learning and connecting with others. This background helps explain his strong feelings at concerts. People have often said that Rieu is an actor who wears his heart on his sleeve and that his emotional honesty is not an act. He can spend the mental money. He didn't have as a child this way. But while he was raised in a strict environment, his shows welcome joy, warmth, and a caring spirit. Not only is each song a way to show skill, it's also an emotional act. His use of sound to try to create an atmosphere of love that he could not have achieved when he was younger. Not only is his music beautiful, but it also helps him and the people who listen to it. In this way, Andre Rieu's youth is both the source of his art and his emotional base. In his early years, he had a soft desire for connection that didn't go away. Instead, it turned into an obsession and a lifelong goal to give others what he never had. He broke down walls of silence with his songs. This journey from not having enough emotions to being able to share them freely gives his work depth. By telling the story of his childhood, Rieu shows that his art came from a human need, not just ability or training, a need to feel and be felt. This need turns into a gift that he gives to the world in every heartfelt act. But just like his childhood left a quiet mark on his music, a much quieter but softer force would come to define its emotional heart. Love in the success of Andre Rieu. At the heart of Andre Rieu's amazing musical journey is a love that has quietly but deeply shaped who he is as an artist. His connection with Marjorie, his wife, is more than just a personal one. It's where his feelings come from and where his art comes from. Even though his shows are big and full of color, rhythm, and happiness, they have always had a deep emotional tone that comes from his love for Marjorie. He has said many times that his work would not have taken off without her, not because she made it possible, but because she gave him the emotional clarity, stability, and strength to express himself in ways other than music. That link. Aside from being happy for himself, their love gave Rieu the emotional truth that has come to define his acts. They met when they were 11 and 13 years old, and their relationship started when they were kids. It grew into a partnership based on deep emotional trust and shared life events. Unlike short-lived relationships, theirs has grown into a tie that holds Rieu's inner world together, letting him connect with and share the feelings that music often tries to evoke. The softness of a waltz, the happiness of a violin solo, and the pain of a tune that makes you miss the past. These aren't just technical accomplishments, they're extensions of a lovingly lived life. Most of the time, Rieu's song is about the love he lives every day. Sincerity like this is what makes his shows more than just a performance. It feels real when he plays because it comes from the quiet, long-lasting love he goes back to when the attention goes away. Most of the time, serious classical music is stiff and serious. However, Rieu's work will always stand out because it is romantic, happy, and very human. If you listen to most classical artists, they stress accuracy and tradition, but Rieu's music has always been driven by feeling, warmth, and the openness that love brings. His happiness in life was already based on his love for Marjorie. Without it, it would have also affected how he sees his art. He can say more than just songs with it. It lets him communicate ideas. These artists know how to get people to react right away. They show how they feel, the love they've had, and the love they've lost, and the love they want. By this measure, Rieu's music is a language of feelings, and love is the language he speaks best. When Andre Rieu writes a great story, love isn't just a plot device. It's an inspiration that keeps him going. Rieu has won something priceless as an artist by having Marjorie as a rock-solid friend. A truth that can't be changed or denied. That sense of being grounded comes with him every time he steps on stage. It's in the way he smiles at the crowd, keeps his bow high, and holds on to a note just long enough to move people. His acts will always be fresh because of his love for Marjorie. Because of this, his work is more than just fun, it's a personal gift to those who hear it. He has found a big inspiration in love and keeps sharing it with the world through music. Her name is Andre Rieu, and she is the love of his life. Marjorie Rieu has made her own way in a world where fame often means letting everyone see your private life. Marjorie has been very private, even though she is married to Andre Rieu, one of the most famous classical singers in the world. She doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Her husband acts for thousands of people and is a famous person who travels the world, but she is rarely seen on stage, in interviews, or on the red carpet. On the other hand, this silence is not a retreat. It's a thoughtful, classy choice that shows what kind of person she is: modest, grounded, and quietly strong. A few times, Marjorie has said that she doesn't want her husband's fame to define her. She likes having her own personality, her own space, and the stability that comes with having a private life. She has helped protect a holy part of their relationship by staying out of the public eye. This is their inner world that isn't affected by performance, press, or public expectations. By doing this, she has kept a safe place where closeness, respect, and simplicity are still important. The fact that the public can't see her doesn't mean she's not involved. It just shows how much she values being real over getting praise. This choice was also a very important way for them to keep their long marriage in balance. While Andre's work, it grew quickly and in a big way. What started out as a small group quickly grew into a big operation with over 130 musicians and technical staff finally. With elaborate shows, concerts around the world, and more fans, the Johann Strauss Orchestra went from being a hobby to a serious musical business. It took more than artistic vision to make this change. It needed careful planning, direction, and organization of operations. That's when Marjorie Rieu came in. Not as a person behind the scenes, but as one of the main people who built the empire and made it work. Marjorie's expertise and skill in her job are very important to the orchestra's growth. Her main goal was to make sure that the business could support all of his artistic interests, while Andre stayed the artistic face of the whole thing. In addition to setting the schedules, she helped with foreign logistics and built the infrastructure that made it possible for performances of this size to happen. She had a long-term view and organized things well, which let the orchestra make changes, first in smaller places and then in stadiums all over the world. Each sold-out show is based on a plan that she helped make that was precise, efficient, and made to make a mark on the world stage. Johann Strauss and his orchestra became more than just a music group because they had two leaders, Andre, who was in charge of creation, and Marjorie, who was in charge of operations. They turned into a brand. Their concerts are known for being top-notch entertainment, and the fact that they are successful all over the world shows how talented and smart the people who run this group are. The story of how this orchestra came to be and how it works is more than just a violinist's dream. As it turns out, it is strategic growth in motion. With Marjorie's careful direction, what began as a small group of 12 players in Maastricht has grown into a world-famous music institution that still amazes audiences on all 7 continents. A creative family legacy, with Andre Rieu's growing fame around the world, his company needed strong, capable leadership more and more. The family itself was the source of that authority. Pierre and Marc, his two sons, each took on jobs that showed off their own skills and met the changing needs of the family's music business. Their participation was a necessary next step in the Rieu family's history, which has grown from a business run by the founder to a business with multiple generations working together and sharing their knowledge. The younger son, Pierre Rieu, became very important to the business and is now vice president of Andre Rieu Productions. He is in charge of the technical and organizational parts of live shows, such as managing the tour, coordinating the production, and running the stage. Pierre is in charge of many of the company's big productions and makes sure that concerts go smoothly from one place to the next around the world. Because he is very good at organizing things and likes to get his hands dirty, he is an important part of the team and makes the Rieu brand even more reliable. He has made his own path as a graphic artist, which is different from Marc Rieu's, who liked to go his own way. Even though he doesn't run the business every day, he adds to General Rieu's culture life by showing his art at some concerts. Besides music, his work as an artist adds another level of talent to the family's public image, making the cultural space bigger than just music. Marc stayed away from the core operations of the business. This shows how flexible the family is when it comes to involving different generations while still encouraging each person to make a contribution and go in their own way. Pierre and Marc finished giving the Rieu family a wider range of work skills. One helps with executive logistics and the other with artistic presentation. This makes it easier for the family to grow without compromising the brand's identity. This next generation will make sure that the mission stays true, deep, and broad, even as Andre continues to lead from the stage. Not only do they want to be involved, but they also need to in order for one of the most successful classical music businesses in the world to keep going. While each strategic job and creative contribution is important, there is something even stronger that holds it all together: Rieu's home life. Andre Rieu thinks that the idea of family goes far beyond the usual limits of home life. From the start of his work, he has not seen his personal and professional lives as two separate areas. Instead, he sees them as expressions of the same values, such as connection, trust, and shared experience. A lot of artists keep their home life separate from their work life, but Rieu has made her life so that the two can live together happily. His wife, children, and grandkids are not just interested observers of his work, they are an important part of his daily life. Family is always there, even when they are on tour at home in Maastricht or getting ready for a show, not just in the background, but as the main thing that gave his life meaning and consistency. For many artists, touring can be a lonely and tiring way of life, with long periods of time spent away from family and friends and in airports and hotel rooms. But for Rieu, it has turned out the other way around. He has always liked the idea of taking his family with him on the road, making it so that work and life are intertwined in the best way possible. Rieu travels for shows up to 250 days a year and has found a rhythm that lets his family join him on the trip. This way of life has made it possible for people to become very close. People have shared meals between sound checks, enjoyed birthdays in different countries, and made many memories that aren't just in one place, but all over the world. The Rieu family doesn't see touring as a sacrifice. Instead, they see it as a shared experience, a moving home where love, laughter, and music all journey together. Rieu thinks that having two families is an important part of this family-centered method. On one side are his biological wife Marjorie, their children, and their grandkids who give him emotional support and company for life. On the other hand, his Johann Strauss Orchestra and their traveling crew are like family to him. Many of them have worked with him for decades. Rieu doesn't think either one is better than the other. The orchestra is more than just a bunch of artists. People in this community trust each other, respect each other, and work together toward a shared goal. Not only are rehearsals and concerts about music, they are also about getting to know each other. The way the Rieu's treat each other behind the scenes, the rituals they've made, and the way they care for each other all show what kind of family they are beyond bloodlines. Because of this, Andre Rieu's life outside of the press has a unique quality. Not just success, but happiness with important people working together for a cause they all believe in. The Rieu's haven't made a living, they have built a way of life based on shared experiences, social bonds, and family traditions. Not only music beats in the practice hall or on a quiet night after a show. Their lives also have a rhythm. It beats with values that hold them together. To this point, this shows that real success isn't just praise or accomplishments, but rather making something beautiful and long-lasting